William Wilshire Myers was an American writer from Hartwell, Cincinnati. He was born around 1840, was junior warden of Holy Trinity Church, Hartwell for 30 years, and was an active member of the Brotherhood of St. Andrew. He had a son, Reverend J. Benjamin Myers, and died in 1913. It seems the 1905 Hotep, A Dream of the Nile, was his only book. The story begins in circa 1540 BC during the reign of Apepi, Hyksos shepherd king of Lower Egypt. At the beginning, Hotep, high priest of Ra, goes to Memphis to take part in a ceremony and to gather people to support Ahmose, a native prince set on dethroning the Hyksos and uniting Egypt under native rule. We soon see a gathering of Hebrews in the land of Goshen, who debate whether to support Apepi, who had always been kind to them, or to do nothing. Of the whole lot, only Ben Ammi says he will not turn his back on their erstwhile benefactor, and goes to join the Pharaoh's army. Apepi's day is done, however, and his army is scattered by Ahmose. Ben Ammi is captured defending the life of Apepi's daughter, whose name we never find out as she is only ever called the Hittite. Ben Ammi at first does not know she is a princess, but soon there is a friendship between them as captives. At one point the two wish to escape to her people in Syria, but are stopped by Hotep, who brings them inside a tent and reveals a prophecy from Osiris, that the three of them are to meet in the same spot in the future under much happier circumstances. The princess is made a servant to Queen Nefertari, while Ben Ammi is made a servant to the temple of Osiris. However, the princess still knows her own worth and does not fall into friendship with other servants. Beorn the cupbearer wants to woo her, but she calls him a slave and tells him to leave her be. Beorn then wishes for her downfall, so he conspires with the officer Karmes, who also finds her comely and was also spurned by her. The two then spread malicious rumors about her, but the queen refuses to listen. But in the meantime the nobles begin to demand her death, to be drowned as a bride of the Nile to assure a fertile flood. Hotep wants to convince the pharaoh not to murder her, but Ahmose says he cannot go against the wishes of the people. But actually he tried to seduce her and was also spurned, as having dethroned and killed her father, she probably would not feel too charitable towards him. Hotep confers with Ben Ammi and the princess, who accepts her role as the bride, and is comforted by the queen, who also failed to win the girl's life from her husband. She is then thrown into the Nile at the end of a ceremony, while Ben Ammi must look on. We then skip some 3,000-ish years to Mamluk Egypt. I cannot say when exactly, as the Sultan is identified as Al-Ashraf, and that was part of the name of Mamluk sultans in Egypt between 1250 and 1517. We see an Israelite, Makai, approach an old monument relating to the bride of the Nile, and being met by an old hermit, Hatsuba. Hatsuba speaks of an ancient secret and a trust he had inherited from his ancestors since the days of the pharaohs, and tells Makai that the secret will be his alone. Makai, his father's friend the merchant Abdul Rassan, and his lovely niece Aisha are drawn into a series of revelations by Hatsuba, who hands Makai and Aisha a papyrus from Hotep himself, and robs the grave of Ben Ammi to show that he and Makai are one and the same, come to earth again, having the same face, and that Aisha is the princess. The first part of the novel is better, and I wish the whole thing took place in ancient Egypt personally, but there is a great unevenness. The first book has many events skipped over, sketched out, such as hiding the princess's identity only for it to be revealed a few pages later. The second half sadly stretches out many incidents of little value for too long, with constant empty discussions about Hatsuba's vaguely alluded to secret. The grave robbing scene is great, but the conclusion is inevitable and long predicted from the first few pages of Makai and Aisha's introduction.